All right, guys. After each project that we complete, you are going to be doing a portfolio entry. So you're going to be creating a digital portfolio for your projects this quarter to demonstrate your learning. And the portfolio will be created in Google Presentations, which is similar to PowerPoint if you've used it before, but it's stored on your Google Drive. And each entry is 25 points. So it ends up being about 75 points to 100 points, depending on how many projects we end up doing. So it is a big grade. It counts as one of your big project grades at the end. But it's really easy if you do it along the way. You don't want to wait till the end to do this. And so I always give you some time in class right after a project to work on your portfolio entry. But if you don't finish it, you'll want to finish it up as homework so you don't get behind on it. So this document that we're looking at right here is available on Cole. And this document gives you step-by-step directions on how to create your digital portfolio, and there's also examples in there. So if you go to Cole, whether you're 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, there is going to be portfolio guidelines and example folder. And if you click on that, you'll see portfolio directions. There will be an example in here, and then also a link to the actual presentation. This is just a PDF, so you can look at either one of those. My example only has one entry. Okay, you guys will end up having 3 to 4 entries, again, depending on how many projects. So you are going to go, your first step is to go to your Google Drive, and you're going to create Google Slides or Google Presentation, depending on what version of Google Drive you're in. So Google Slides. And you guys will be able to pick what format you want to use. It's totally up to you. It's your portfolio. I'm just going to click on this. Then you'll want to name it. Your first initial, last name. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Your period first. So if your first period, underscore, first initial, last name, always put your period first. Then underscore portfolio. So this will be the name. Period, first initial, last name, portfolio, and hit OK. You'll immediately want to share that with me. Even if you haven't started your portfolio yet, you want to get it shared. Okay, and so K Roberts should be the first name that pops up if you start typing that in. And please don't notify me by email. And then hit OK. And hit OK. All right, so I've shared it, and then you are ready to start working on your portfolio entry. Now, I'm going to go to my example so that you can see what it looks like, because there are 4 slides that you're going to be creating for your first portfolio entry. And then after that, it's only 3 slides each time you do it. So video examples. All right, here's my so-called life. No. Sorry, I keep going to the wrong. Here we go, portfolio example. All right, so the first thing you'll need to do is a title slide. This is a title slide for your entire portfolio. Okay, you'll want to put your name on here, title it multimedia portfolio, and I put an example because it's just an example, and then a picture of yourself. And you can take a picture in photo booth, or if you have a picture online that you want to use, that's totally fine, but a picture of yourself here on the front. This is your first slide that you'll make. Your second slide is a title slide for the project that you're doing your portfolio entry for. Okay, so this is for the individual project, and you'll want to title it Project 1. This particular one is for 6th grade, My So-Called Life. 7th grade, you'll be doing Stop Motion, and 8th grade, you'll be doing Day in the Life of X. And then I just came up with, I found an image on Google Images that represents that particular project. So whatever the learning goal was for the project, or whatever you think of when you do that project, you can find an image that represents that. So the big goal for My So-Called Life was talking about digital storytelling. So I found an image that represented digital storytelling. Your second slide is an explanation of your project. And I have step-by-step directions that go through it. And you have to talk about the purpose of the project, which you can find on the assignment sheet, what was achieved in the project, what was your specific project about, basically a summary of your story. And you also explain what software and equipment was used. What did you use to complete this project? You also explain your procedures, like what did you have to do for pre-production, production, and post-production. So the explanation is just an explanation of all the different parts of the project. And again, there's step-by-step directions that you can refer to while writing this. And you want to write it in a paragraph format. Then the most important part is the reflection. So the reflection, again, is written in a paragraph form on a slide by itself. You talk about what you learned, and please be specific. Not that I learned about camera shots and angles, specifically what did you learn about camera shots and angles? So you'll want to give a specific example. Any obstacles or difficulties you ran into, what did you feel you did well or your group did well? What needed to be improved or things to think about for the next project? Then it says you'll need a link to your video. Do not worry about that right now. You do not need to worry about a movie file. We'll do that at the very end. You'll do one, since you put them on YouTube, we don't have to worry about the link, and you guys are going to save them in your Google Drive. So do not worry about the movie link, even though the directions say that. So this will be your first entry. You'll have 4 separate slides. Refer to the digital portfolio directions so you know exactly what needs to go into each slide. And of course, you can always refer to the example, but the example is obviously not going to fit all the projects. So this is just so you can see how it should be written. Again, each entry is worth 25 points. The rubric is attached to the directions, so you can take a look at that also so you can see how it's graded. So the rubric is right here. So 8 points comes from the explanation, 12 points from the reflection, and 5 points from the layout and the design. Okay, so you can see the big bulk of the points comes from the reflection.